Welcome to the Pathways to Prosperity podcast, where we explore personal, professional, and financial success stories of top achievers. Let's dive in.
Welcome to Pathways to Prosperity for Entrepreneurs, the podcast where we celebrate visionaries turning their passions into impactful ventures. Today, our guest is Sherrel, founder of Canviiy. Is it Canviiy? Right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. An award-winning health and wellness brand found in over 6,300 retail stores and trusted by top-tier cancer centers. Sherrel's experience expands into personal care, healthcare marketing, and retail growth. So let's dive deep into her story and the powerful lessons behind her success. So how are you doing? I'm sorry I bushed like a little bit. I didn't mean to do
No,
that.
all good. Tristan, I am doing well. Thank you so much for the invite. It's an honor to be with you today.
Of course. So can you possibly give us a little snapshot of what Canviiy is?
Yeah, absolutely. So Canviiy is a health and wellness brand that's particularly focused on scalp and hair health. And so we have been in business for several years now. And what's really different about our brand is all of our proprietary formulations are based in organic ingredients. So they're very clean, they're free of paraben, free of artificial fragrance, artificial color. So they're very healthy and efficacious for the hair, for the skin, and for the body. And so that's what's different about us.
Okay. So I know that industry is really hard to get into, right? I mean, there's essentially only four companies who really dominate the market. Everyone thinks that there's multiple subsidiaries, but so how are you going to overcome that? I mean, you're talking about multi-billion-dollar companies. So how are you able to really make yourself different?
Sure. And you're pertaining to the retail space, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So in retail, at the end of the day, you stay in your lane. Are we ever going to be the Procters and Gambles of the world? Probably not right now, at least.
Right.
But there's variances that make a emerging brand special, right? The fact that we can pivot when we need to, right? When you think about global giants as such, they don't have the flexibility to pivot when needed, right? We can innovate at a faster pace as well, right? While it may take them years, right, to innovate a new product, it could take us months, if that's just the rate in which we decide to create new products. And so what I particularly love about the Canviiy journey and our competitive and unique position is the fact that we really focus on us, right? We focus on trying to be really focused in on our consumer. So our consumer between the ages of 25 and 65 are women and men that have problematic maybe scalp and skin, right? And so really focusing on their needs, whether it is needing clean ingredients, whether they're needing something more soothing, something that's more gentle on the scalp, on the hair, on the body. That's what we focus on. And to date, we've been able to be in over 6,000 retail stores, as you mentioned. But what's really different about us is the fact that we also have penetration in the healthcare space. And so we do have partnerships with top healthcare institutions across the nation. And so what that shows is that one, our products are different, but they're also efficacious enough to be able to meet the patient needs, right? That patients may have, particularly in the oncology space, right? It doesn't matter what the scalp concern is for the patient, whether it's itchy scalp soreness, irritation, etc. Our solutions are gentle enough to really soothe those concerns that patients may have. So that alone just shows you that we have amazing efficacy for our products, and we continue to drive that innovation in both retail and in healthcare.
Yeah, no, that the whole oncology and the health side, right? It's really their skin is very sensitive. So being able to really be in those institutes and also really show that you're not only, like you said, you don't have all the chemicals that are added, they're all organic. They're with the body, not fighting against the body. Because I know, as you know, in the cancer area, their body is essentially fighting itself, right? So now how are we able to help really hone that in? And it seems like you have great ingredients to where it's helping them. So it's really hard.
Yeah. Absolutely. It is really hard, but we've what's different again in our competitive, I would say core competency is the fact that we really take our time to nurture our formulations to make sure they're safe, to make sure they're effective, but also to make sure they're gentle. And particularly when one is going through chemotherapy or radiation, right, they're needing to make sure all the things that we just talked about, quality, healthy ingredients or healthy alternatives for their skin and their hair. And we have our products have been clinical tested across many different healthcare systems, right? And so once you pass that test, patients can be assured and providers that they're providing something that's safe, effective, and that really works.
So talking about being able to really put yourself in certain areas and really know your lane. I mean, that's something a lot of business owners don't understand, right? They want
Yeah.
to everyone, right? They don't want to just please just one person or one audience or one avatar. They want to try to please a plethora. So, like, what challenges have you been overcoming throughout the years that you feel like has helped really hone in that aspect?
Great question. I mean, so we aren't a venture-backed firm, right? We
Mhm.
bootstrap from the beginning. We have one angel investor. And so I think for us, and just like any emerging business, is just making sure you have enough capital, right, to drive growth. That's always a concern. That's always a challenge for any growing business. Also, just making sure that you're staying true to who you are. Because to your point, right, there's opportunities that come from the left and the right, and you have to assess, wow, that looks like a real nice opportunity. Do I pursue
Right.
that, or do I really stick to my lane and what I'm great at and what we do really well? And I think when one, you can capitalize yourself effectively and you stick to your core competencies in terms of what you do very well, that's when you start to see that growth. That's when you start to see that recurring revenue over time. And so that's one of the ways that really guides us, making sure that we're creating products of integrity, making sure that we're being great partners to our retail and our healthcare partners, but more importantly, knowing that we don't have to jump on any and every opportunity that comes our way.
Oh, I like that. I love he's like, right? It's like you might have like a little shiny object over there, you know. And now you gotta keep it focused. And I think that's the point, right? That makes,
Yes,
like you said, be true to yourself, be true to your company and its values. So
absolutely.
what other challenges do you feel like has came a little bit easier to you that other companies seem to fail at then?
Hmm. That's a great question. I think one of the things we do really well is we position our company for success. And what I mean
Mhm.
by that is if we're talking to a retail buyer, we understand their language, we understand their ecosystem, we understand their space. Same thing in healthcare. When our team is getting prepared to have conversations with supply chain teams or value analysis teams or authorized distributors, we do our homework, we do our research, and we come prepared. And I think that's the difference between us and maybe other companies or other brands is that they just sometimes just show up for the meeting, right? And not
Yeah.
necessarily do their homework or understand the space or even understand the preliminary needs of, a healthcare institution, knowing that you have to have that clinical research that
Yeah.
supports you,
Do.
right? And for them to be assured that they're going to have and invest in products and a brand that is healthcare grade to a degree. And so I think that's the challenge is that when you walk into an opportunity, it's the difference between being prepared and unprepared. And when you're prepared most of the time, you can break through and kind of rise some success.
Yeah, it's really about being the preparedness, being able to really understand the language. I mean, healthcare language versus company language. It's a lot different. Like, right, it's like the research has to be backed. It's not just by the consumers. It's more about it should be more about the patient efficacy, like you're saying.
Absolutely. You're spot on with that.
So as we're talking about this personal growth and planning, it's interesting how entrepreneurs and successful individuals plan beyond that, right?
Mhm.
So a lot of professionals are exploring other ways to create, very amazing investments, being able to really grow their life. So how do you use that into your own personal life?
That's a great question. So while I am definitely future thinking and future forward, I like to focus on the now. And then what I mean by that is in entrepreneurship, and this may just be my opinion,
Mhm.
there's so many things happening at once, whether it's product innovation, whether it's sales growth, whether it's business development, whether you're thinking through what are the KPIs of the business, thinking through new hires, thinking of onboarding new clients. There's so much going on at one time, especially as the CEO. And so I'm always thinking of how can we perform best right now? And more importantly, how are we positioning ourselves for the future? And that may be a 24-month plan, a 36-month plan, a 5-year plan. And so there's always a combination of both happening at the same time. And more importantly, when you are partnering with a new partner, whether it's healthcare or retail, it's thinking through what are the terms of success, right? So it's one thing
Right.
to get in the door, get on the shelf. It's another thing to stay on the shelf. It's one thing to get in the door at healthcare institution, and another thing to service them accordingly in which how they need to be serviced, whether that's delivering products in 7 days, making sure that you're following up from an education standpoint with their teams. And so for me, again, like to focus on the now and making sure we're doing what we need to do now. And in the
Of course.
future, it's preparing for that accordingly, thinking of the terms of success for the potential, I would say, prospective partner.
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, being able to really focus on the now is really it's something that a lot of people, it's like being a strategist, right?
Yeah.
Versus being a tactician. So
Mhm.
sometimes, we got to pivot ourselves to be more the tactician of now because, right, even now we don't know how the market's going to be. So how are we able, like you said, you're able to pivot yourself in certain situations that other retailers just couldn't. And
Yep.
that right there shows in how you're able to really, like I said, you prepare yourself for certain things. You prepare yourself for the healthcare side, the retail side, and
Mhm.
that and being able to really do that in different avenues but be successful.
Yes.
Something not a lot of companies are able to do right now, especially with even with the easy AI stuff, right? So,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely.
as we're wrapping up this interview, what exciting plans do you have that's in the works? Because it'll be happening in about 6 to 12 months by now.
Wow. Oh, great question. So, our big plan is to continue to grow our retail footprint in North America. We may
Okay.
be looking at some international expansion, so that's really
Mm,
exciting. And then also continuing to grow our healthcare footprint. Like we're just getting started. Right now, we've partnered with 13 institutions and
okay.
distributors. And the possibility is over 15,000 potential companies, right? And
Right.
so when you think about that, there's a need for systems, there's a need for process, there's a need for SOPs. And so before you can go out and just grab attention of all of these potentials, you got to make sure you have the foundation. The house got to be in order, right? First and
Right,
foremost.
exactly.
And so that's a combination of what we're doing right now. We just brought on NetSuite as our ERP, and
Mhm.
it's been a great addition to the company. And so as we finalize our implementation, we're looking forward to setting that all up beautifully and then hitting the pavement really hard in terms of growing our customer base and our client base. So that's our focus for the next 6 to 12 months.
Yeah, being able to really have those funnels, I feel like that funnels have made, especially go high level has like their own funnel in their own way. Like
Hmm.
being able to really create that, then you're able to not only use that, but also show other companies, other smaller companies, hey, they have a very similar aspect. You could even sell that to them, right? I mean, that itself is an innovation that a lot of companies, when they start out, they're like, what do I do to make it a little bit more easy on myself, make it less hands-on? So I
Hmm.
think that itself and having that kind of mindset is, and like you said, you might think about the now, but I mean, that's a pretty good strategy in the future too. So
Absolutely. You're spot on with that.
I try to be as much as I can. Nope. Thank you very much for your time and sharing your insight, thoughts, and tips. So if people want to reach out to you, like where should they go? Should they go to Instagram? What's the socials looking like?
Yeah, great question. So we're on, of course, would love for you to visit our website at canviiy.com, and that's Canviiy. You can follow us on LinkedIn. We are on Instagram, and our hashtags are Canviiy if you want to hashtag us. But yeah, we're everywhere, Facebook as well. So be sure to follow us on LinkedIn, on Instagram, and visit our website, canviiy.com.
All right. Well,
Mhm.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you have a great day and hope everything goes well for you.
Thank you. Same here. Take care.
Thanks for listening to the Pathways to Prosperity podcast. Got a success story to share? Visit pathwaystoprosperitypodcast.com/guest and apply today.